sense almost immediately brings up a list of what we can't do. Don't drive, don't spend money, don't turn on lights. As with everything in Judaism, there must be some wisdom behind these rules. So what is it? What's the big idea? Instructively, the restrictions that the rabbis imposed on Shabbat directly correspond to the work required of our ancestors to build their wandering desert tabernacle, the Mishkan. That is, the work required of the Israelites to build their sacred space is the work we are specifically prohibited from doing on Shabbat. Why? For 6 days a week, we build the world we seek to live in. We dedicate ourselves to bettering our surroundings, our tabernacles. On the seventh day, we enjoy the beauty of it all. And what better way to honor the sacred time of Shabbat than honoring the ultimate sacred space, the planet itself? As the human impacts on the environment continue to be revealed, and as we begin to more fully understand the ecological harm that us humans cause through our daily activities of building our society, the significance of Shabbat continues to increase. The opportunity to live more deeply into a meaningful Shabbat practice that is in alignment with our sustainability values continues to become more compelling. Thankfully, Shabbat, which is a time to slow down, honor food, family, and friends, keep the lights off, keep our cars parked, our phones and computers away, and our wallets closed, intrinsically lends itself to a sacred relationship with our natural world. It is up to us to live into that invitation. On behalf of the entire team at Chazon Detroit, we want to thank you for participating in Green Shabbat. We want to commend you for taking part in a Shabbat celebration this week that honors the planet. And we want to encourage you to experiment with your own Shabbat practice to incorporate elements of sustainability into that special time. We also want to celebrate the sustainability accomplishments of the Metro Detroit Jewish community with 33 organizations that are formally working towards a healthier and more sustainable world for all through our Seal of Sustainability program, and many more who are doing that work on their own in a variety of ways. And we want to invite you, first, to sign up for the Brit Chazon, the Covenant of Chazon, an amazing program that Chazon launched earlier this year that supports you in making individual sustainable change in your own life. Visit chazon.org/Brit Chazon, HAZON.org/BRITHAZON. And second, we want to invite you to this year's Chazon Michigan Jewish Food Festival, happening this coming Sunday, August 15th from 9 to 4 at Marygrove Conservancy in Detroit. Registration is required, so sign up right now. And if you can't sign up by 8 p.m. Saturday night when the forum closes, come on down anyways and we'll squeeze you in. This year's food festival is a drive-through event where you'll get to interact with over 40 organizations doing amazing sustainability work from the comfort and safety of your own car. You'll get to learn about all sorts of awesome nature and climate-based initiatives, sample some delicious food, be entertained by music and circus performers, and be part of the largest annual Jewish gathering in Michigan. You don't want to miss it. For more information and to sign up, visit chazon.org/MJFF. Again, HAZON.org/MJFF, Michigan Jewish Food Festival. Now, I want to end with this. This day that we are celebrating right now, Shabbat, is seen by our tradition as a taste of the world to come, Me'ein Olam Haba. By us engaging in sustainability practices as part of a Shabbat practice, like what we as a Metro Detroit Jewish community across a dozen organizations and hundreds, if not thousands of people are doing right now, we can help ensure that the world to come is as healthy and thriving and beautiful and sustainable and holy as possible, and that it is habitable and life-giving for our children, our grandchildren, and for many more generations to come. We are so grateful to be doing that work with you and excited to continue to go deeper together. Shabbat Shalom. Yay!
Dancing along. now, Copa. Okay. Hoping that was going to shut off. Okay.
That was so. It is Hazon Shabbat Green, which is just.
I thought I was doing something there. I got a little nervous. Not feeling so well.
Oh my goodness.
The surprises. So, first of all, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Green Shabbat is just an opportunity to think about our environment. We can do better to help our world. And thanks to Hazon, which about sustainability. I'm going in and out, I think, aren't I? No? Yes, they're saying that. And we have a great relationship with Hazon. 40,000 pounds of food came through our social hall during the pandemic to those who are facing food insecurity through many different organizations. So fortunate for that blessing and much other good stuff that Hazon does in our community that we do with them. And one is bringing the awareness of what we can do in our world, right, to help our world, recognizing climate change, recognizing challenges that surround us and what we need. So that's setting that tone for us, reminding us of that as well. But at Shabbat, a time for us to be together. Microphones work. So greet and wish each other a Shabbat Shalom online, in person, and help each other through.
All right, let's sing together. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Ya-da-da-da-da-da, bim, bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom. Hi, Shabbat Shalom. Hi, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam. Bim 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 bam. Ya-da-da-da-da-da. Bim bam, bim 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 bam. Bim bim bim. One more time. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim bim bam, bim bam. Bim 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 bam. Bim 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 bam. Ya-da-da-da-da-da. Bim bam. Bim 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 bam. Bim 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 bam. Good Shabbos, everyone. So great to see you.
Check. Now it works, you promise? Really? Okay. Promise me. If it doesn't, just don't blame him. Really. It always works so well. Well, it's good to be together and to give ourselves this time of Shabbos, this time of calm. Our world, look how the skies have cleared for us. Right? This week filled with a little tumult and a lot of humidity and some rain and frustrations, and we arrived for Shabbat and look at that. Coincidence? Yes. You know, it's Friday the 13th, and it's not like we're superstitious or anything. Tutu, Kanahora. But we all have our little things that we do, our traditions, the strangeness that we see in our world that give us a sense of calm. So maybe a superstition should be this day, right? That we set aside a little bit of time to pause and to appreciate and to recognize blessings. This week's Torah portion is Shoftim in the book of Deuteronomy, which begins, with the word tzedek, tzedek, tirdof, justice, justice, shall you pursue. And it says in the Torah portion that we have to have justice in b'sha'arecha, in our gates. And often when you find translations, it talks about in our dwellings, in our settlements. But the translation sha'arecha are gates, like the prayer of the Ve'ahavta. You place the mezuzah on the doorpost of your houses and your gates, sha'arecha. And they found in archaeological digs benches that were outside the gates of the cities where the judges would sit, because the idea was that they would promote justice, they would make decisions for justice outside the gates before you walk through them. That when you came into the holiness of the city, you found justice there already. And I feel like when we come together, we leave, in a sense, the challenges, the frustrations, the debates, maybe even the tensions, and we come to the justice, the peacefulness of our sanctuary here as a community. But there's another tradition. The mystics say justice comes into sha'arecha, into our beings. The gates are entrance into our soul, because this is the first Shabbat of the month of Elul. That month that leads into our holiest of days, Rosh Hashanah. And the month of Elul, every day is a day you hear the shofar blast. Every day is a day of introspection. Every day is a day of reflection, getting yourself ready for a new year, for those 10 days of repentance. So the gates are our eyes, our mouth, our ears to our soul, because our soul is what is prepared for the holiest of days, that of Yom Kippur, and the 10 days of repentance. So what better can we do with the gates of our soul, with what we see, and the need for justice when we see it not being promoted? With our words of what we speak and how we elicit justice and kindness into our world, what we hear and how we translate that as well, and how important that is in our lives. It's all about preparing our soul for this adventure of the holiest of times. And so we remind ourselves that it began with a sense of chesed, of kindness in our world. And when we don't see it with our eyes, or hear it with our ears, or express it with our lips, we are commanded to bring justice into our world, to bring kindness into our world, because it is based upon that in everything we do.
חסד ייבנה. ידדיי, 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 עולם חסד, עולם חסד ייבנה. ידדיי, 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 עולם חסד ייבנה. ידדיי, 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 עולם חסד, עולם חסד ייבנה. ידדיי, ידדיי, ידדיי.
The world is built on kindness. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Think about the idea of what we have to create in our lives. The kindness that we've done, maybe Shabbat's a moment for us to think back on our past week and the kindness we shared, we exuded, we helped with, we promoted. But think about the times we can do more. How else we can extend a hand, how else we can share, how else we can give of ourselves to make that kindness so present. You say that kindness is that foundation that leads to love. And the rabbis tell us this month of Elul is an acronym meaning Ani L'Dodi V'Dodi Li. I am my beloved is mine. That love comes in so many ways in our connections, our relationships, the mutuality of what we find in a connection with one another. And in that connection, God dwells. So our souls connect and we bring God a little more into our world. That which begins with kindness completes our world and makes us whole as well.
I will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 and you must build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 and if we build this world from love, yadadai, 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 then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 olam chesed. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, 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 olam chesed. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai.
Meditation services are just a chance to pause and soak in the joy of Shabbat and the sense of being community, and of course to offer our Shabbat prayers too. We don't necessarily use a prayer book, and so you can follow along with humming a melody or whatever you feel comfortable. Of course, for those who'd like to join with words of Kaddish, hand out that prayer too. We do hand that out, so you'll be prepared for that as well. But for now, it's a chance to sing our prayers, to join as a community. So let us gather as a community with our call to worship as we rise now.
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Not sure about you all, but when I was a kid and I was sick, I would stay home and I loved watching The Price is Right. And there was a game on The Price is Right, and I don't know if anybody else here has been playing during services, but I'm playing a little bit, called Plinko, where they would drop a little disc and it would bounce on different sides, and there were prizes at the bottom to see whichever one it landed in would be the prize that they would win. And as I watch our wall tonight, it's really cool because every once in a while there's a leaf that comes down and there's two of them stuck on it right now, and they kind of like go back and forth and trying to guess. So you get to, for those at home, you can watch those two leaves as well for us here and try and guess which one is it going to end in. But why I mention that is not just because of my distractions as I am enjoying our Shabbat services, but because how often do we get moments like this to just sit back and notice things like that? Normally, we run through life. We might see something as we're driving by, as we're running by, as we're walking, that there's that busy hustle and bustle of our daily lives. And Shabbat is really that moment for us to just be present, to soak in the moments, soak in the opportunity to be with the people who are next to us online or in person, and just to stop, to cease from all of our work and to rest. And for a moment, I want to do just that. I want you to just close your eyes for a moment. You might need your eyes too, but just to focus on your breathing. Breathe in, slowly inhaling through your nose, and breathe out, exhaling through your mouth. Continue to focus on your breath. Feel the rise as you breathe in of your chest or of your shoulders. Maybe sit up straight as you breathe in. As you breathe out, feel your stomach deflate. Let your muscles relax. Because it's Shabbat. Our moment of rest, as Rabbi Nate said in the Hazon videos we started, the idea that we get to taste a touch of paradise and what our world can be. So whether it's something in your mind that you're picturing or as you have your eyes open now, looking around you, notice something that's beautiful to you. Something that catches your eye, catches your ear, something that you feel. Maybe it's the beauty of the sunlight coming through the leaves. casting shadows on the lawn. Maybe it's the sounds of the water trickling from the fountains for our first time this year. Maybe it's something else that you recognize, that you feel. But this moment, just to be present, to sit, to relax, to let our minds wander. Rabbis realize that sometimes that happens to us at night as well, but when we do it at night as we're getting ready for bed, we forget to focus on that beauty, on the good things, but that our minds wander to the challenges, to those things that cause us anxiety. So they created this prayer, the Hashkivenu, to remind us to pray for those good things to come back tomorrow, for our life, our souls to be renewed and refreshed, so that tomorrow morning when we wake up to recognize the beauty we see. We wake up to experience the good that's in our lives. And we wake up refreshed, ready to fulfill our individual missions.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Ufros Aleinu Sukha Shlomecha. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Hashkivenu L'shalom v'ha'amidenu Malkeinu l'chaim Ufros aleinu Sukhat Shlomecha. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be ours, shelter from life's storms. Be our shelter from life's storms.
And in preparation for the Amidah, we take a moment for our own private meditations, either following the prayers of our hearts or those our hearts might prompt.
The thought is blown in the marketplace, away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering the song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters the day. Eternity utters the day. The thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind, joy in the tree. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering the song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Adonai, Sfatai, Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi, Yagid Tehila Techa. Adonai, Sfatai, Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi, Yagid Tehila Techa. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah ve'Elohei Rachel. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem, L'Ma'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, U'matir asurim, Umkayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamo chabal givurot, U'mido melech, Melech memit u'mchayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol.
in the presence of us being together as a community, so do we bring Torah into our midst as a reminder of where we've come from and the connections and how we find strength in community as well. And just as Torah has been a source of inspiration and hope and strength for our people for literally thousands of years, so is it that for us as well. As we think of those in need of healing and strength, we walk around with the Torah, we reach out and touch it, we mention names of those we're thinking of at this time. Mishiberach Avatenu Abraham Yitzhak Yaakov, Ve'imotenu Tzarek Kolei Avrachel. Hu Yibrech et Cholim, merciful God, who's blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. Send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness, anxiety, friends and family we think of at this time. Ilse Otto and Allie Alpert, Margot Alpert, Doreen Billett, Rachel Brewer, Michael Brody, Larry Burke, Karen Hasman, Marvin Cohen, Molly Cotant, Karen Edelstein, Barbara Esrig, Sandy Flair, Gracie Goldman, Joseph Goldring, Batya Esha Panina, Charles Gross, Hank Heiser, Jerry Hoffman, Helen Indiana, Jane Jacobs, Friam Kessler, Serafina Coffrin, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Emily Levin, Barry Levine, Dina Lindquist, Libby McIntyre, Zoe Marcus, Joyce Mazza, Nancy Morrow, Perry Moss, Lori Moss, Scott Miles, Kate Negrone, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Rezo Bat Leah Miriam, Leah Elisheva Bat Avram Bachana, Annette Pines, Eileen Porcelli, Melanie Pohl, James Raftery, Joanne Reed, Leslie Herlick Ritchie, Alan Rosen, Morgan Ross, the St. Amman family, Micha Chuna, Ben Sima Freda, Amy Selmanoff, Rita Seidman, Danny Shepard, Bernard Sklar, Barbara Storm, Connie Wahlberg, Elaine Wolf, Manuel Zapata, as well as all those battling the coronavirus. The 53,117 American troops who have been injured in Afghanistan, Iraq, surrounding areas to date, and all the names in our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai v'acholim, blessed are you, God, and strength to those in need.
Blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, bless those in need of healing with Rafua Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. משתחווים ומודים
Grief sometimes seems so unfair. If we let a loss embitter our souls, our hearts will never heal. Only faith and trust lighten our load. Grief is part of life's lesson when it makes us want to be whole. Somehow, when we are hurt by sadness, we understand that helping others is how we heal. We, more than someone who has been untouched by life and death, understand that silence can sometimes be acceptable. We who have been crippled by loss appreciate how a word can make a difference in another's life. When we do the best we can for the world around us, we celebrate life and sanctify the lives of those we loved. And so on this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days. Kushiva, Shloshim, and Shana we mark. Lola Goldring, Ricky Bratt, Senator Carl Levin, Milton Green, Micah Asnier, Irene Alpiner, Sarah Nadell, Jerome Klegman, Diane Glazer, Jan Brody, Barry Cohen, the 7,038 Americans in our armed forces who have been killed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the surrounding areas to date, and the 619,250 Americans who have lost their lives to the coronavirus. And to their names we add those whose yahrzeits we mark, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Norman Appleton, Madeline Barkin, George Joseph Barr, Harvey Bielfield, Naomi Brewer, Howard Camden, Alvin Deladow, Carol Falk, Lois Fine, Mac Fisher, Edith McNaughton Ford, Rose Schwartz Foster, Rose Gayer, Bertha Goldman, Jason Good, Raymond Michael Harbit, Bernard Itzkovitz, Joyce Kolb, Elsie Lindo, Walter Lindo, Israel Lopayton, Bert Meisel, Ruth Miller, Sylvia Nathan, Edith Ida Raskin, Dr. Charles Joseph Rich, Sarah Rich, Sam Robbins, George Rosenberg, Jean Reich, Ernestine Severin, Barney Solomon, Joseph John Wilbur, Stephen Zumberg. Along with all the names in our hearts and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, do we join together as one family, as one community, thanking God for the gift of life with the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'omad divrach urtei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivrach le'olam omei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmeid krusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Huya say shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn. Comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere. As together we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, Huya say shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'im שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
Lionel is modeling it, and so is, AJ is too. Oh no, he is the
AJ's
real
got a
key-
different one.
Oh, sorry. So Lionel's modeling the green kippah that you can wear, rewear, and then bury, that has seeds,
Excellent modeling, Lionel.
and other vegetation in there that can be used well as part of our green Shabbat. So nice things, right?
Makes wildflowers
Excellent.
if you plant those. So even if you didn't want to wear one and you want to take one on your way out as you head to your cars, there's I think it's a container of them back there, and you can have some wildflowers somewhere at your house.
Excellent. So a moment of Tish before we conclude our services. Bunny, did you have a question?
As Bunny's getting ready for that too, if you're online and you're watching and you want to post something, we also have it here, so we'll watch for those questions too. For those online, just post it in the
Two
chat.
questions. Okay. Will we have in-person services for Slichot? And as of now, the answer is yes. Just as we're in person as well, right? I mean, yeah, Slichot is for those who don't know, is the last Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah begins. But this year, because Rosh Hashanah begins on a Monday night, you go a whole week before. So Slichot is August
28th.
28th.
It's actually the Motzei Shabbat, the evening between the end of Shabbat and the beginning of your week. So traditionally, it's a service that happens at midnight, and we know that everybody here is up at midnight and looking forward to participating in that
I
tradition.
used to think it was a great idea, and then I had kids. I'm like, what? Slichot's at 7:30. Just kidding.
9:30.
9:30 we do it. So it's a late night service. It's dark. It's not a long service, but it's a beginning. In a sense, it's building up this whole month of Elul into repentance. It's a candlelight service where we, extinguish our candles. We ask forgiveness for the people around us. A beautiful service. So that will be in the sanctuary. And your second question is? Update on our high holiday services as well, which is a
Before
great...
you answer that question, I'll add one more thing, which is that if you prefer not to be here at 9:30, and you're either somebody that normally watches online, or you're here and you find yourself in bed at 9:30 at night, but you want to be a part of it, those will also be live stream services too. And so you'll be able to join us that way. This year we're not bringing in, last year we had our friend Benny from Israel that was traveling around to different synagogues in Israel to show you the traditions there and some of the cool traditions that you see that happen at midnight. But we'll just be staying here at Shir Shalom at 9:30.
Yeah.
And for high holidays.
And we're not flying
Not
Israel.
this
We were planning on taking everyone. This was the year, actually. We had a trip for the entire congregation booked, and Israel won't let us in. I'm sorry. Just we had bought everyone tickets. I now have the e-credit, though, of yours. So, and high holidays will be as of today. And, of course, things are changing in our world. But, we've now added into our sanctuary and when we're inside a temple, we're wearing masks. Thank God most of us here, all of us here are vaccinated, which is great. We can't encourage that enough. For the high holidays, for our family and Pitzela services, those will be outdoors, outside. So our family services, we've rented West Bloomfield High School's football field and stadium. And so that's right, go deep, throw your sins away. It's going to be a great way to celebrate the new year. So we'll be there outdoors for our family services. Pitzela services will be here at Temple in the garden. And our adult services, evening and morning, will be in the sanctuary, completely opened up. You know, if we open up all of the classrooms upstairs, all of the social hall, we can get, 1,800 people into our temple. We've never done that, and we're not going to do that. But I imagine people will opt to come or not to come, and so we'll be a smaller number, 500, 600, 800. We can spread out easily, wearing masks during our services. The choir will not be fully singing in person. We're recording some of that and using that, but they'll be there singing with us too, but not on the bema as much as well. So we're altering things, and we have a group of physicians who are guiding us, and we're talking to regularly, as well as the recommendation from the CDC that will impact if we have to make any additional changes too. Yeah. Yes, Ida.
This isn't a question, it's a reminiscence I would like to share.
Yes.
This being Friday the 13th, for those of us who remember Rabbi Daniel
Yes, sir.
giving us a Friday night, I think it was the same one all the time.
The same one, yes.
Friday the 13th.
He would always find one interesting new thing every year. So
It seems
that's
the Schwartz Count is running.
came to life.
So, Ida, for those that are online, I just reminiscing about the times that Rabbi Schwartz would be here on a Friday the 13th and would give a sermon or share a little bit about the history of Friday the 13th and some of the wonderful connections. I was never here for one of those, so I never enjoyed that, but I've heard all about them. Yeah.
Do you remember what the fear of 13? Excellent. Triskaidekaphobia, that's right. So we all learned that. We had to repeat that during the sermon, too. Not that I resent anything that Rabbi Schwartz taught me and bombarded me with for 26, 7 years. Hey, other things on the calendar. If you like social action, who doesn't like social action? We have a great opportunity with Life Remodeled, the 6-day project in Detroit on October 7th, on a Thursday from 1 to 5 in the afternoon, or 12 to 5 in the afternoon, where we are really helping clean up a neighborhood in Detroit. It's a 6-day project, so you can go any day, but Shir Shalom has this slot we're going then, along with Repair the World in Detroit. It's a great thing. We've done it the past 2 years. We've had a group of people who have gone there. About 15 of us went down. We really want to grow our numbers, especially this year, because the competition against a synagogue down the street, not to be mentioned, that rhymes with Plemple Pisriel, but we're not going to say who it is, that we have committed to getting more volunteers than them. Don't make me look bad, okay? Not that everything's a competition, but come on, take a few hours off work. If you're retired, help us out. Great work. I mean, we're using tools, we're cleaning up. It's a great way to spend an afternoon, rain or shine. We really meaningful time when we do this. So
just to add to that, I think one of the great things about this project and the organization is they partner with the community there. It's not a group of people that are going into a neighborhood that are saying we should fix this up or do something about it. It is members of the community who have all signed to be a part of this, who are volunteering, who are working as well to make their neighborhood more beautiful and to clean it up a little bit. And you'll see the transformation of an entire block over the course of that week, and it's incredible, the work that's done and the number of hours from volunteers that are put in to do that.
yeah, really worthwhile. So we love doing this, and we're glad we can partner with that as well. Hey, more announcements. Look online. Your high holiday tickets are coming out this week. And so we've sort of been holding them back as we've been altering some of the plans and some of the things we originally had in there so that it's as accurate as possible. But all of that information will constantly be refreshed online, so you can look there to make sure you know what's going on too.
I'll share one of those things that's coming out since we talked about the beautiful art and the wall behind us. Rabbi Schwartz, is it confirmed?
Yes.
And Joel Smith, one of the architects for Temple, are going to be doing a program after Yom Kippur services between Tish and extended Tish. The art and architecture of Shir Shalom is the plan. So it'll be a fascinating. They'll talk about the stained glass windows. They'll talk about other things that you might see at Temple, the way that it was designed. It should be really fascinating. And so a nice way is we try to encourage people to spend the day here at Temple, with activities indoors and outdoors to be able to really celebrate the day in a meaningful way.
Right. And we're honored that Joel Smith is giving his time and helping us a part of that too. Next week, August 20th, is our Service Under the Stars. So sort of the end of summer time, recognizing it. But of course, our temple's history, that in 1988, that was really the first community service that we were able to celebrate together before my time, before Cantor was Cantor at Temple, before Rabbi was born. And so, no, just kidding. And so, that's next Friday. There's a picnic dinner before that will be done COVID safely as well. All you got to do is register online, RSVP online for that, so we know you're coming at 6:30. 7:30 services will be over in that section of the Garden of Temple. That section where Temple's Addition will be constructed in the near future, and you'll hear about that at Service of the Stars. So, with that in mind, what's that word?
That was my string bass.
Yeah, the bass will be here.
I was like, are you?
So the nice thing is there'll be some
Parker.
accompaniment with Cantor and some nice music during dinner as well, and to elevate our service with Cantor on next Friday too.
Yeah, should be great.
I thought you were playing your lute or something there. So we give thanks for the sweetness of this day as we sing with Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
L'chaim. And AJ, I don't know if you realize this, but Grandma Paulette brought you here specifically for this reason today. She's been waiting for this to win the lotto for weeks. So if you'll come help us up here. Help us, AJ? Or we'll bring it to you. It's okay too. Bring Grandma Paulette with you.
Nahal lottery. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. AJ, if you want to be a rabbi, that's like the first thing you got to be able to do. You got to do that motzi and then eat the challah. Yeah, that part he's good about.
Eaten.
Yeah.
We rise together.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you. May God protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yechoneka.
May God shine upon you, and may God shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisim lecha shalom.
May God always be a part of who we are. As individuals, as a community, giving us all of our hopes, all of our blessings. Giving us gesund health, giving us parnas success in whatever we want to do and try to do in our lives. That we have nachas from kinder, joy from children, and those who surround us in our lives. And be blessed with shalom, with peace.
Vayisim lecha shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Everyone.
This one works.